Hello, hello, Ark the Pie King here, back with another episode of Let's Play Monster Rancher Advance 2. First thing I need to go ahead and do is give a quick apology. So, right after I quit the last recording, I managed to close the game without saving it. So, I brought Bert back, and I tried to get his stats as close to what they were originally as possible. I know one thing that definitely changed is his fame is 7 instead of 10 now, so that's a little bit lower. And his other stats have been rearranged slightly, but everything else I tried to get to match as much as possible. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and go forward and see what we need to do. So let's see, any battles coming up? Okay, one at the end of July, or at the beginning of August, which is sort of like the end of July. Let's see, what are his stats right now anyway? Power, accuracy, speed. Let's go ahead and raise his defense by a single point. That is not defense. That is defense. Alright, and he succeeded and went up by 4 whole points. Oh, and he's really worn out. Probably should have rested instead of putting him through more training. Oops. Oh well. Yeah, he's pretty lively. And more training. Let's see, defense is up, so I want to get his... Actually, since we have such a strong attack, we're going to go ahead and work on power. And he failed. Good job, Bert. He didn't do very well. Well, he tried, so we're not going to scold him for that. And we're going to give him some potatoes. He's tired. That's a shame. We don't want to send him into battle while he's tired, so just go ahead and rest up, Bertie Bert. That's no big deal. And we're going to go back to power training again. Went up by 4. One thing I haven't seen in this game, but I distinctly remember was in the older ones, is that it was possible for monsters to actually cheat when they train. And it would give them the stat gains, but you had the opportunity to scold them for doing it technically right. I'm not sure why they got rid of that. I always thought that was kind of a neat thing to include. And another success. 4 more points towards power. And go ahead and rest up, buddy. And more potatoes. That is pretty much all Bert is ever going to know, is his love for potatoes. He's really energetic, so I can probably go ahead and get away with 1 more training before the battle next week. He succeeded, of course he did. Oh, and it went up by 5 that time. That's really good. Alright, let's go ahead and kick some tail. Rising Dragon. I don't think this is a tribe battle. No, it's not. So, let's see. First up is Camelot. He is an octopus type. I can't remember what they're officially called, but an octopus type. It's strange that he has such high power and low intelligence because they're traditionally mental types. One thing I know I didn't describe very well last episode was the battle system in detail. So essentially, their icon determines where they are on the battlefield, and you can move closer and farther away. You have close, medium, and ranged attacks, which are the red, yellow, and green squares, respectively. And then the color of the attack itself determines whether it's a mental or physical type. We're going to go ahead and just Spin Crush the heck out of him right there. Spin Crush is such a good move. Oh. That's okay. I thought I'd try to go ahead and get a tail whip in there while he was confused, but it did not work out. Another ear slap. Let's go ahead and hit him with a Spin Crush. Oh, there we go, yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up from that. And just to make sure, we're going to... Well, I was planning on running the clock out, but he did it for me. Excellent. Yeah, that was definitely a win for us. We're going to go up against the Anger, which is a... I can't pronounce their name. They're basically Loch Ness monsters, and name itself is like a Lessie horn or something to that effect. Well, that's the name of that attack, but I know that it's a very similar sounding word when actually talking about the type of monster it is. Alright, we're off to kind of a poor start here. Hopefully he missed with that attack. And we'll get in there while he's confused. Excellent. Alright, we are dodging all kinds of stuff. That's really good. That is one advantage to the speed stat, is being able to dodge things. I typically don't raise speed myself. I prefer defense, so this is a kind of an oddity for me, having so many things miss. It's nice, though. I think it's high enough. We're going to go ahead and try hitting. Perfect. And he was confused for it, so it's basically an auto hit. A successful head slap. I don't think he can catch up at this point. I'm not really all that worried. And I'm just going to run the clock out, because the time does keep going even during animations. So it's a good idea to just throw attacks out there if you're winning and you know you're going to win, to do it just to make sure that they don't suddenly, you know, blow you up with something with a random crit. Alright, and Riot, who is an Antlion type. Oh, that's very odd. Antlions are almost completely dedicated power types, and all he has is a single intelligence move. Now that is very odd. Neither of us have either medium or ranged attacks, so I'm just gonna chill back here until my Guts comes back. He's at the maximum 99 Guts, so... And there's the Lightning. Lightning's a fairly accurate move, and it's also pretty damaging. All in all, it's a really solid move to rely on. Once again, I'm just gonna hang out and let my Guts come back. Uh-oh. Yeah, time to actually start going for the kill. Time to start being confused forever. Excellent. Oh, and it was a crit. That's really good. But I think... Oh, well, he missed with that, so I was gonna say I think we might lose, but... Nah, I think we've got this on lockdown. Well, I hope. Throw in a tail whip just for good measure, and yeah, no big deal. There we go, so Bird's a really good starting monster, apparently. Having that Spin Crush is just amazing. And how much fame did we get? Another 8 fame. Not bad. And his defense went up, and his speed went up. Yeah, we'll go ahead and praise him. He did good. Oh, and things are happening. Yeah, we're settled on the ranch. We still have work to do. More filler text. Okay, and... Yeah, this is basically saying that ranches have been attacked lately and to watch out. It's not really relevant until later. It's filler. Let's see. There's a tournament next week. The official tournament is how you actually rank up. Winning one of these, where the column is all the way, will get you to the next tier, and then you can start taking D, and then C, and then B tournaments. So that's... Well, I think we're going to go for that this month, actually. Let's see. Let's go ahead and, yeah, concentrate on his, power training some more. Another success. Power up by 4. And more potatoes. Ooh, this is actually a pretty big deal. Being able to spar is really important, and being able to spar on the cheap is even better. And more things are happening. And, oh, I meant to say yes. So, super coaches are not really anything important. Essentially what they are is, you can hire coaches, kind of like Masamaro, what we've got now. Super coaches are incredible coaches that are incredibly expensive to use, and I have literally never bothered seeking them out. I'm not going to say it's not worth it, but they only appear on a random month on even-numbered years. So they're extremely rare and just not worth constantly going out of your way to look for them. At least that's how I feel. Gosh. I'm really torn, because we can go spar, and sparring is actually how you learn new moves, and I would like to have a medium and a ranged attack, but I also really want to rank up. There's always opportunities to rank up later. I'm gonna go ahead and look into sparring and just see what our options are here. And sparring is essentially a mock battle against an impossibly difficult opponent, or you can use one of your own coaches. But in either case, it's a battle you pretty much have no chance of winning. And based on your own stats and the stat that you're trying to raise, you have a chance of learning a new move. And no, we're not going to do that. And we're not going to do that one. Basically, you kind of have to check each one by one to see what the odds of learning a new move are. No, I wanted to say no, and yeah, okay, so we're not going to be learning any new moves. If you're not going to learn anything, then it's not worth it. So we're just going to go ahead and train this week, rest the next week, and then totally own the tournament. Power went up by 5. Bert's in good shape, so we're gonna go ahead and rest anyway. We could train, but then he'd be too tired to go into the tournament next week, and that's no good. Alright, Francesca, Miss Announcer Lady. We're gonna fight Chains, which it looks to be a Naga type. I get the Naga and the hair type confused. Yeah, that's a Naga type. And we'll open up with a Spin Crush. Alright, and it landed, which is fantastic for us. And now we're gonna back away, because that's gonna happen. That's okay. Nagas are quite strong, and their attacks are very cheap as well. They're pretty good, they're a pretty good race to have, and yes, as I think I mentioned in the last video, you can knock people away, which is very handy. Yeah, it just does exactly what it sounds like. It just knocks people away. It's good for ranged types, because you want to use your ranged moves, and it's good for close-up types who basically want a chance to breathe and get their guts back, or run the clock out. Which is exactly what I'm attempting to do. Come on. Uh-oh. I think we won this one, like, no contest, but yeah, we've got a little bit more life percentage than them. That was a surprisingly close one, though, because we only hit with one Spin Crush. Also, I love that Naga's name, Painkill. I hate fighting Pixies. Pixies are generally intelligence types. This one doesn't appear to have good intelligence moves, which is lucky for us. It can spam Slap all day and all night, but Slap is just not even a thing. It's a really, really terrible move. Even if it hits, it's gonna do 13 damage. Which is actually a little more than I expected. She's starting to catch up with that, actually. That's not a good thing. That's okay. We got Spin Crush, and now she's been knocked out. You go, Bert. I'm sorry I underestimated you at the beginning of the last video, because you have been awesome. Alright, let's go up against Painkill. I should have looked at his stats. Oh well. It looks like he's got the same starting setup as the last one we went up against, the last Naga. We're gonna hang out until our guts goes up, and that's a pretty good amount. Let's go ahead and see if we can hit with Spin Crush. Excellent. And we're gonna go ahead. Oh, darn, I didn't realize he was gonna get confused, otherwise I would have stayed in range. He's going for the punch, and he landed the punch. Oh well. That went well enough for us, I suppose. I don't think he's going to be catching up anytime soon. Well, he might, because he just punched us in the face. Tell you what, we only need just a little bit more damage on him. Oh, good, he went for a counter and completely failed it. So that's, you know, that's good for us. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't counter, because it's bad. Marco and Vitz, yeah, Vitz is a Suezo type. Suezo types are usually pretty easy. They're not very good monsters at all. Which is kind of ironic, since they're sort of the mascot of the series. But then again, Pikachu's pretty terrible, and look at him. And Spin Crush crushes. See, Suezos learn a lot of physical attacks, but they're primarily intelligence monsters. Like, their intelligence raises really easily. So, I don't understand what they're going for with that. Tell you what, I can probably finish this off with just some of my own tail whips. I think that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm just gonna run the clock out by spamming tail whip. Alright, and another easy win for Bert. And let's see, I think everyone else has lost at least twice. No, Painkiller hasn't. So even if we lose this, we still have a good... Let's see. Painkiller still has to go up against Chains. So I don't imagine us losing to a Mochi type, but I guess anything's possible. Well, then again, this one has Petal Whirl, and that's a really, really strong move. It deals damage, it's very accurate, and it heals the caster. So we want to stay out of Petal Whirl range, excuse me. And we missed with Spin Crush number 1. Go ahead and let this raise back up. Excellent. There we go. Slap, however, is a pretty terrible move. It's the same one that the Pixie had, just, you know, of course, with a different animation and icon. And he actually hit with it, no big deal. Because, yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to catch up now. Not unless... Ooh, that was actually kind of bad for us. So if I can... I did not successfully dash past. Oh, but he missed, so no worries. Uh-oh. That could be problematic for us. Okay. His intelligence isn't nearly high enough to make a good use out of Petal Whirl. That's good for us. Alright, we swept another tournament. I'm not really all that surprised, because Spin Crush, man, it's so good. Oh well, even if we had lost that, we would have won the tournament, because everybody else lost at least 2 times. So, nothing to worry about. Alright, 2,000 gold, and Fame went up by a good 10 points. Excellent. Yeah, Bert did do really well. And his power went up by 9, and his accuracy went up by 4. That's great. Those are 2 of our most important stats. I would say the most important stats, actually. Well, we'll go ahead and give him some potatoes. Because, you know, potatoes. Alright, and that's our certificate saying that we are now a D rank monster. And our breeder level is a number. And cutscenes and things that are happening. And oh no, it's a guy, and he's calling us juvenile, and other things are happening. He doesn't have to give his name to a beginner. And he's gonna force us into a battle. And he uses space magic to make Bert totally fine for this battle. And also we can't control Bert for this battle at all. So it's gonna let him get countered. Because this is scripted and boring. And he gets kicked in the face. By the way, that is a Dullahan monster. And they are hands down my favorite in the game because they look awesome. Yeah, kicks Bert back up so he can use his other attack. Because I want to see him actually use the sword. Or just keep getting kicked in the face, Bert. Yeah, they have a sword, and it's really awesome. And he gives us his name. It's Canute. And he gives us the Flare Orb so that we challenge him again. He has no reason to do that. We never hit him. The battle was scripted. I really hate the story in this game, by the way. It's so bad. Oh, this person who never even hit me and never did anything. They have so much potential. I'm gonna give them a precious relic thing so that we fight again someday. And not the fact that I was a total jerk was enough to make them fight me. It's so poorly written, and I didn't see how he feels right now. I'm actually not sure if I can. And, okay, apparently the select button, yeah, the select button is the help button, and it gives you a description of what you're doing. Alright, well, we want to continue with his strength training, so we'll do that. Good job, Bert. And it went up by 6. One thing I do like about that last little bit is that he does make your monster not tired, so you can train right after a tournament, which is not normally a thing that you're able to pull off. So, you know, that's handy, but it's not really worth sitting through all of that nonsense for it. There's a tournament next week, and the 2 weeks after that. I wonder if I can get my power-up in time. Up to the next level. By 5 points. One more training would do it. Gonna give him some potatoes. You know the drill. And then a guy shows up. He's a freelance trainer, and he's wanting to rest here. It's just basically just an NPC that showed up. Doesn't really have any bearing on anything at all, just like every other NPC in this game. I think we're going to skip this tournament, because one more training is going to push us up to the next power level, then we rest next week, and then we do the tournament in the 3rd week. Perfect. Oh, and it went up by 7. That's a really good amount. Taking a rest. And he's going to chastise us on being terrible trainers. So he's going to offer to let us hire his monsters. Which, admittedly, his monsters are actually really good trainers. They make for excellent coaches. Alright, well, we might as well make use of it. I mean, we're not doing advanced training right now because Bert's still just a baby, but... And yeah, we're gonna assign it to Strong, which is the best name for a golem. And... now, it's right, he has low accuracy, so... we do want to do that. See, we have anything that actually does raise speed? That's speed and intelligence. That's speed, life, and that lowers power, which is really bad. And this is why I'll usually dump speed, is because there's no good way to raise it. Alright, that'll be fine for now. I'm gonna go back to the ranch. Alright, rest up, birdie boy. I like the little penguins playing in the background. Some people taking a walk and an ice skater. There's lots of cute little background elements that you can see if you pay attention. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and go into this Winter Cup. Now, the D rank tournaments are a little bit harder than the A rank ones, so I won't be surprised if I do walk away with a loss here, but it won't be that bad. We've got 2 antlions and a golem, and that antlion has way better stats than us. Oh, he's confused though, that's good, so we'll go ahead and jump in with a quick spin crush, and it was a critical. That's awesome, we might be able to pull out a win on this yet. Alright, he's got super low guts now, so we're going to hang out right in his melee range. Okay, he pushed us away, darn it. Good thing he keeps missing with everything, that's been really handy for us. And then he gets confused just in time for us to attack. Okay, I don't think we're going to lose now. Ooh, however, that hit hard. So, let's see. Hang out right in his melee range. Another lightning. Ah, and it hit. That might have been the one that does us in. Ah, nope. I think we got it. And run the clock out. Yes! Pulled out a victory, just barely. I gotta get Bert's life up, though. It's really low. So that one was lucky, but I don't think we're going to beat the other 2. So after this, I'm definitely going to concentrate on training before anything else. Yeah, we're losing in all stats and pretty significantly in most of them. Entering this tournament this early was a bad idea. He has almost double our hit points. Luckily, they can't hit for beans. And jump on him as soon as he gets confused. The higher rank you go, the less often that happens, because, you know, they should theoretically have stronger bonds with their masters and such. And another lightning. Oh man, I can't believe that hit. It has such a low chance of landing. Well, let's start spamming and see what we can accomplish with that. We can get confused and then still dodge. Wow. Alright. Land ourselves a spin crush, and we'll try going in with another one. Missed. Yeah, this is pretty much a guaranteed loss now. Let's see what a tail whip does. Nope, that's a miss. Oh well. Bert's still holding up pretty well, even with his significantly lower stats. That golem's gonna destroy us, though. Golems hit so unbelievably hard. And they have huge defense. Oh, but he's got a weak spot in the middle, which is good for us. So if we can just love tap him and then stay in his blind spot, we should actually be good. I'm gonna hang out and... I want to spin crush. Yeah. Alright, sweet, that landed. Now we gotta back out of his punch range. There we go. Okay, I hope we just stay here for the next 35 seconds. It's all about positioning against this guy, because he can't attack in the middle. That's really good for us. So we might be able to pull out a win against this guy, assuming I can keep dancing with him like this. It is harder than it looks, though. Because, oh jeez, for that reason right there. Oh good, it missed. That was terrifying. Alright, I'm just gonna try running the... Oh, I made a terrible mistake. Darn it, and the counter was successful. Oh, I'm so salty. Oh well. So we won one match and lost two. We came in third, which I don't think gets us any prize money. Yeah, but our popularity should go up by a couple points. Well, a point. That's okay. He did his best. He was definitely performing against monsters that were way out of his class, so that's good. Go ahead and rest up, buddy. Alright, we'll go ahead and give him some potatoes. Alright. And you know, I think on that note, we're going to go ahead and end this video. It's the first week in January, so we're beginning the second year. We're coming up on Bert's first birthday, and that's when training is going to get really interesting. But I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you for watching, and have a nice night.